Thank you for making out time to be here. It's not going to be long. We're not going to take much of your time, highest 1 hour or so. So I want to call on our chief blogger, the one who started the blogging in Nigeria, the one who started everything. I don't know if he's here. Chief, are you here? Okay, so I want to call on Chief Blogger to give us a rundown about blogging Nigeria. Just a quick one. So Chief Blogger, please.
Good morning, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Great to connect with you all, and I'm so excited where I am now to celebrate this third anniversary with Blogging Club UNN. Congratulations to you guys, and it's been awesome having you guys as members of this family. Like I tweeted this morning, thank you for the vibes and the energy you have brought to Plugin Nigeria Club. Your club, since you guys joined the family, sets a lot of standards that a whole lot of other clubs are building on. Your club actually showed us that plugging can be much more fun than what we used to practice before your club started. So kudos to you guys for the never-ending vibes again. And thank you for all the efforts. Thank you for all the sacrifices you have made to be a part of this family. I remember the moment I came to UNN and I met some of the bloggers. I witnessed the strong bonds beyond just working together as volunteers of an organization. This has become a family. This is a family, and you guys look out for each other. And this is a message that I have taken to other clubs, and I've always encouraged them with. So kudos to you guys. Thank you once again for the sacrifices of time, your personal resources, finance-wise, time, efforts, everything you have contributed to making this club progress, and for the amazing impact you have made. And I want you guys to always see this as something very substantial in any way. Maybe because we do this often, we do it week in, week out. Some way we tend to lose. We tend to no longer see the importance of it, or it tends to become common. But let's continue to see it as something special, and see it as really making an impact. Because of our activities, we have been able to win a lot of persons to become more environmentally conscious. And then maybe you guys don't know, we are well celebrated. Plugin Nigeria's position, we are well celebrated in the environment space in Nigeria, up to the Federal Ministry of Environment. This is made more peculiar in the sense that when we started this organization, we started in local communities. We did not start in Lagos, we did not start in Abuja. So we were able to grow to the point that people in those locations acknowledge us. So that's a good deal itself. So again, kudos to you guys. And anyway I go talking about blogging Nigeria, people always ask, particularly for blogging club union, how did they do their own stuff and all that. So kudos once again to you guys. Keep the fire burning. Once again, congratulations, and I wish you all a wonderful experience and the symposium. Thank you, Merit. Merit, I'm done here, so you could resume.
Okay, thank you, Chief, for that wonderful for that wonderful introduction in Nigeria. So again, I want to say thank you to everyone, people who are just arriving. Thank you for joining us. I want to call on Sonia now. I don't know if any of our guests are around. Sonia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So I don't know if any of our guests are around, but in the meantime, I don't know which one is the real Christian. So in the meantime, can you just like say, give us some words on what we're supposed to like get today? What we should expect today.
Mm. Um. Okay. Let me see. Good morning, everyone. If you can hear me, drop an emoji. Say hi.
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 Good. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome everyone to our symposium. I'm Sonia, blogger Sonia from UNN, Department of Food Science and Technology, and I'll be one of your hosts on today's event. I am glad you all are joining our meeting, and thank you for being a part of our event. Thank you for honoring our symposium. Thank you for making it a success, because your presence here is what's going to make our symposium interesting. And we promised you guest speakers who would make the event worthwhile. Very soon we'll be introducing them. I don't know if all the speakers have connected yet, but I will be introducing our first speaker soon. Our first speaker will be coming by 10:20. So before then, I think we should just have a chat. So I think I'll ask some questions and then you guys reply me on the comment section. If you get what I said, if you get what I mean, please participate. Reply me with your favorite emoji or just say hi. Okay. Okay, before the question starts, I am going to talk about some of our speakers. First of all, I'll be talking about the SUG speaker we'll be having present today in the person of Odiloki Nnamdi. A little rundown of Odiloki Nnamdi. He is the student leader from the Department of Computer Science, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and he hails from Ohozara local government of Ebonyi State, Nigeria. He's a graphics designer, blockchain enthusiast, and software developer that specializes in front-end, I think. He established himself as a prominent student when he contested for the post of SUG Director of Welfare, UNN, amongst other top personalities in school. Before then, he had served in numerous positions, both in department and faculty level. He currently occupies the following positions: SUG Director of Welfare, Chairman, SUG Welfare and Catering Committee, Chairman, SUG Special Committee for Public Affairs, amongst other notable positions in school. Very soon, he will be joining us and speaking. And another speaker we'll be having today is Dr. Amuche Nnabueze. Amuche Nnabueze is a mother of three, an artist, climate activist, and a Laudato Si animator. She's a 2021 Climate Parent Fellow and teaches sculpture and culture and creative arts in the Department of Fine and Applied Arts, University of Nigeria. She is passionate about developing various artistic processes to speak to sustainability of the environment and promote practice to migrate the adverse impacts of human activities in the environment and on creatures. Persistently, Dr. Amuche works to bridge the craft art divide and has explored fabric crafts through her braid series. She has pioneered the Sculpted Basket project, sculptedbaskets.com, for purposes of educating pupils, students, administrators, mothers, and traders on sustainable environmental concepts using socially engaging activities. And another speaker would be having today would be Greg Mba Jogo. A brief rundown of Greg. Mr. Greg Nnamdi Nnabike Mbadiogo is an actor dramatist. He's also an exponent of environmental poetry and a senior lecturer in the Department of Theatre and Film Studies, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. He gained limelight as an itinerant solo performer in 1991. From 1991 to 2000, he embarked on a nationwide tour with his solo play, The Prime Minister's Son, written in 1992 and revised in 2000 and 2011. His other published works are Hands of Fate, a drama, 2000, co-authored with A.G. Obumese, Water na Water, drama and dramatic monologue, co-authored with Chike Aniakon, 2003, and revised in 2006. Water Testaments, anthology of poems of water and water-related issues, solely edited in 2008. Mbadiogo is also the author of Wake Up Everyone, drama on cinematic change, published in 2011, with second and third editions reissued in 2014 and 2021, respectively. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, we can hear you.
Hi.
Okay. I'm done with the introduction of our speakers. Soon, I'll be calling up on the first speaker to join us.
I hope you're all ready for this. So, we will be speaking on our topic for today, that is finding balance between environmental sustainability and waste management culture in higher institutions in Nigeria. So,
AY, we can't hear you. Like, you're
hello?
not loud enough.
Oh, I'm not loud enough. Okay. I'll try to fix that. You can hear me very well. Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Because we are shouting. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
can hear
So,
you.
Okay, everybody can hear me. All right, thank you. So you will be here, you'll be speaking with us on that. So on environmental sustainability, find the balance between environmental sustainability and waste management culture in higher institutions. So let me give you a rundown why we brought Uncle Greg on board. He First time I met with him, I told him about what we've been doing because I saw his work on plastic, a poem on plastic everywhere. So I said, wow, this is a very nice idea. So I called him and I want to work with him. And the first thing he said that intrigued me was, uh, what we are doing is fine, oh, it's okay, but we need to do more. That is what just captivated my soul. Yeah, we really need to do more because we really want to change in this university, especially in the rest of Nigeria. So that's why we came to him, and fatherly as he is, he accepted to speak with us. And this is being recorded, even for the future purpose. We will still be referencing this symposium. You understand? So the floor is for him. Um, Thank you. Welcome, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed. My name is Greg Namdi Nabike Mbajioku. I'm an eco dramatist, environmental poet, and nature activist. I believe that we can solve a problem of environmentalism and waste management crisis just by removing debt and plastics in our environment. Because, like I said, removing the plastics in the environment is like treating the symptom and not the ailment. If the sickness is malaria and you take paracetamol, you only stop the headache and fever, but you're not treating the malaria. To treat the malaria of plastic menace, we must have to begin to think of how to change the human mindset. And it's something that is better done to younger people. Change their mindset. Let them think differently. Let them even come to the consciousness of the fact that the throwaway lifestyle, which is a generational problem, is at the heart of the problem. Let them become conscious of the fact of the number of flimsy plastics they use and throw away every day. Let them come to the realization that even this thing called plastics that we later here and there every now and then only came into our world 100 years ago. And let them begin to ask themselves, how did these things that they now receive in plastics, how were they packaged before the coming of plastics? And in trying to find answer to that question, let them also begin to take count of the number of disposable items they discard in a day, in a week, in a month, and in a year. Let them also begin to come to the consciousness of the fact that these plastics littered here and there are sponges to other viruses and pathogens that do harm to our world and our environment, our soil, our water, and everything. And one fast way to bring these things to their consciousness is through the written word, through literature and environment. Using literature on environment, I have tried to make many students bring an end to their throwaway lifestyle. the part of the reason why corruption is endemic in our country is because even the corrupt leaders don't know the dangers of the practices they engage in. Somewhere, many people who throw plastic here and many people who throw plastic here and there do not understand the full repercussion of the practices that they are throwing the nation into. It's on this understanding that I believe that picking up plastics on the street is not a solution to the problem. Because the same people who littered it, the very ones you're picking up, will come again and litter it again. And so we pick it up today and we throw it around the next day, then we pick it up the next day and throw it around again, and it becomes a cycle. And we become like people living in the fool's paradise. In realization that plastics are non-degradable, and in realization of the fact that superabundance of it in our environment is a danger to human life and everything, we need to grow up a youth that is conscious of the implication of this. It's only when the young people imbibe this culture of preserving environment and not, helping in the spoiling environment that we can truly find a solution. It's like treating malaria. And I tell a lot of people that treating malaria doesn't bring an end to malaria. It only makes you strong and well enough to treat malaria once again. But if we clean up the breeding grounds of mosquitoes in our environment, then we can effectively say that we're eradicating the very sources of malaria in our environment. Something with plastics. We must come to the realization that somehow we even encourage those who mindlessly throw plastics here and there by picking it up, and they come again and throw it around the next day. But if we build a conscious youth, a nation of consciously dedicated youth who understand that you can go to shopping with a shopping bag and you don't need to collect every polythene bag given to you, and that you can prefer ice cream on a paper package than the ice cream in a polythene or plastic package. Then it will become conscious of the fact that so many of the things we use and dump every day are things we can buy in contents that are more sustainable. And we throw away this culture of patronizing flimsy plastics that compel us to use and dump. And the more we use and dump, the more we create problems in our environment. That is not to say that there aren't plastics that we need in the environment. For instance, we need our gloves. Otherwise, our hands will get infected. We need our hospital plastics. We need our pharmaceutical plastics. But we really don't need our candy plastics. And by buying candy in a box, we save ourselves the problem of patronizing flimsy packagings. We can carry our water containers and refill our water in containers. That saves the number of pure water sachets that we use and discard on daily basis. Most of all, we must encourage our undergraduates to patronize environmental literature, because part of the problem is that they don't even understand what we're talking about when we talk about environmental sustainability. And the more we can make environmental literature part of the general study program of our universities, compulsory reading, the more we build a youth, environmentally conscious youth, that will help to disseminate the important message of environmental sustainability. And so I endorse plugging in Nigeria in all the ramification, because I believe that it's good to keep our environment clean. But their efforts to keep environment clean must not stop by picking up wastes in the environment. Because if picking up those wastes in environment in themselves profiles a solution, then there will be no waste when they gather next weekend. But my interaction with them has shown that they pick up this waste and they come next week and they even find more waste in the same very environment where they cleaned up a week before. And I don't even see how they can deal with clogged channels and clogged gutters with all kinds of mess, clogging the gutters and channels. And particularly at this rainy time, when the wind and the rains, the flood, will carry all debris, all plastic debris, into our channelizations and create serious flooding crisis. So my think is that any environmental activist movement that ignores the need to educate the human mind will have a crisis, because educating the human mind is at the heart of building the needed consciousness that will help to reduce the number of people that constitute pollution in our environment. It's like talking about a Christian who doesn't understand the significance of Christ dying on the cross. How can you be an effective Christian without understanding the journey on the Calvary? It's like also being a pagan without believing in the principles of paganism. So my radical approach to this is that every move to environmental activism starts with education, education, education. The more we have an environmentally conscious youth from primary, secondary to the university, the more we are not likely to have plastic menace and other form of environmental pollutants. This is my message, and I have tried to set this message across by the books I'm writing. It's also through these books that we can nudge our leaders to make policies that will bring an end to the proliferation of what we call flimsy plastics in our world. Granted, removing flimsy plastics in our world will endanger the economy of those whose lifestyle and livelihood depend on it. And so the government must cushion their landing, must provide some kind of subvention for those who will have to abandon their flimsy plastic production or sales or marketing. And we find alternative. And why I think that alternative is not far-fetched is because this plastic that we have become so engrossed and so attached to is a product that has only lived for about 100 years. How did our world exist all the other years without plastics? And if we remember that we had a cleaner environment, then we should want to go back to a greener world we had before oil came with all the byproducts of it, of which plastics is one. Finally, I don't want to indict companies that proliferate plastics in our world, like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and the rest of them. But I would beg such companies to please take a leave from their counterpart companies in advanced world that have not only created plastic bottled soda drinks, but also created machines where you can return those waste plastics and get an incentive for returning them. Coca-Cola can be more responsible. Pepsi can be more responsible. Water production factories can be more responsible if they create what we call a vending shop where used some kind of automated machine where used plastics can be returned and people giving incentive for returning them. Because it's dangerous that they allow their product packagings to litter everywhere, and illiterates, ignorant people use soda bottle that people have put their mouth in to wrap honey and other food we eat. We have to discourage that. And the fastest way to discourage it is for the bottling companies that make these plastic bottles to start an initiative towards retrieving their empty bottles. Unless the government enforces a law on that, it will be difficult for that to be effected. Because Coca-Cola and the rest of them, Pepsi and all the rest of them are in business. And they do not care what happens. All they want is to make money. But government can make them more responsible. The same way that I also believe that universities can make laws to punish students who don't dispose plastics at the right ends where they are supposed to be disposed. I think I have made my little contribution, and I'll be happy to take questions from participants. Thank you very, very much indeed. I'm always glad to contribute to student awareness projects like this. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So, Mary, you are done here.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful talk. We really gained a lot. In the next 3 minutes, we'll be taking questions. If you have questions, just raise your hand. Any question? Huh?
I'm ready to take few questions. I'm ready to take questions.
Okay. If there are no questions, can you hear me now?
I have a question.
Okay, please ask.
Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation, sir. On need for us to create more awareness of the dangers of plastic pollution as the most sustainable way of solving it. But my question now is, how do we go about creating that awareness, especially among university students, where we should be role models to the university community, should be role models to the society?
Yeah. I thought I did address that question. One of the ways is through my literature on environmentalism. You can see what I have with me. This one titled Plastics Everywhere, Politics of Environmentalism and the Character. This book is the reason why the group got across to me. They saw the book and knew that I was happy. And I think that the more we take this idea, the more we will be changing our minds. Also, when I get this book across to the people at the National Parliament, to get it out to policy makers, to get it out to Ministry of Environment all over the country. How we are despoiling our own world, what we can do to save our planet. Oh, the information contained in this book is so rich. I didn't know much about polymer-related issues of this research stuff. And I tell you very much, the research has cut across physics, chemistry, and all the other aspects of engineering of polymer. And I think that understanding what is condensed in this book can go a long way to help us, yes, become environmental activists in the research.
So any other question? Yeah, okay. If I please a question, raise up your hand.
Hi, good morning. You can hear me, right?
Please loudly.
Okay. Can we hear me? Can we hear me?
I can hear you. Speak aloud.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Okay. All right. The question I'm asking now basically is as regards the incentives, the plan for incentives, giving incentives. Who will return plastic? You get, like, for example, now looking at countries like Japan and some other European and Asian countries, they have these things already in place. Now, what I'm asking basically is how can we adopt this? Because I don't think the government right now, like Nigerian government, thinks of this thing as a problem. So how can we as environmentally conscious individuals influence or affect the government to enact and adopt? That's my question.
Can you take the question again, because network was fluctuating when you were speaking?
Okay. My question is as regards the adoption of laws on giving incentives for plastic recovery. I talked about countries like Japan, there are other countries, Germany, and the rest. You know, in fact, all of these waste bins for kind of waste have been like invented, basically. And also the incentives has been like already in place. So my question is, how can we as students, environmentally conscious individuals, influence or affect to enact and those, like, if the government, if we can make the government to use these different types of waste bins, automated waste bins that separates this waste as they are ones that can be burnt and ones that should be recycled, and also how can we make the government enact the laws on giving out incentives. Because, the example I gave before, Japan, this is like job, their low, like their bottom class citizens.
All right, Philip. All right, Philip.
Yeah.
You got the question already. Then can we take 2 other questions now? So let us take all the questions so that I can answer them together. And okay, please kindly unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Greg, or Dr. Greg, as the case may be. I wasn't there when the introduction was done. My name is Sanyoke Chinedu. So I have a kind of contribution and opinion. So it depends on how you see that. I know the university is the place where social change starts from in most parts of the world, be it the civil rights, freedom of speech, anti-apartheid, and the rest of them. Why is it that this thing about environment is not also being seen start from the university sector or the university environment? Yes, Plugin is doing a great job. They've started the movement, but we've not seen commitment from particularly the university management. I'll give you a very good example. There might be no law or no enforcement of a law, if one exists, that catch and deals with people who pollute our university environment. Nobody has been held responsible, and that's why you may find people still flouting the laws, if there's any. Another example is when you go to the big offices in the university, let's not even talk of the smaller ones, like the VC's office, the office of the registrar, you may not find bins for disposing waste. If they are there are no bins to segregate waste. So how do we ensure that proper collection of this waste, especially segregation from the collection point, is enforced? Because we have to start from the management, show example, move down to the junior staff, move down to the students, and then imagine UNN at your school churning out all their graduates that are environment conscious into the system in Nigeria, and every other school doing the same. That's where the change starts from. So why are we not seeing commitment from the management of these universities? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. You got that. Again, Anu, the last person, please, your question. Please make it brief. We don't have time. Okay, what was the question? Yes, let us read your question out, Anu, on the chat.
Okay, my question is, in an environment where orientation
What he answers, we'll be looking at that. Let him be.
Read it.
Okay.
Read it out now. You have it there, read it. Yes.
All right. The question says, my question is that in an environment where orientation, the question says in an environment where orientation are being passed out, but people in the environment don't believe the orientation based on that money or reward is not included. In that situation, what should we do?
So they don't get that
Just
question.
read it. Nice. Yeah, read it from me.
They don't get that question.
Read it from me.
Okay. Let me try and read it then.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. The question says, in an environment where orientation are being passed, but people in the environment don't believe the orientation based on that money or reward is not included. In that situation, what should we do?
Well, if you ask me, I'll start with the last question. I think Plugging in Nigeria can institute an award for environmental sustainability in UNN and get sponsors for getting the award. You can even extend your prices to the local government if they're doing well on waste management. But who are the environmental activists, key actors in the university? You begin from giving awards to such people, and in such programs, you invite the university authority, and they understand that you are doing the job that they are supposed to be doing. If I have addressed that question, the last question, let me go to the question that is talking about retrieving the waste products and the possibility of instituting laws. Yes. I think that environmental activists in the university can come together and do a bill that will go to the National Assembly on this. Policy actions start from individuals. It is possible that if the university management is overlabored with other responsibilities, that environmental activists in the university can come together and start from the local assembly, the state assembly, and pass a bill that will go to the National Assembly. And then the nation will make a law that will punish production companies that do not put in place mechanisms for the retrieval of their wastes. Again, the university management needs to be prodded on. Plugging in Nigeria and other environmental key actors in the university can do a courtesy call to the Vice Chancellor and compel the Vice Chancellor to ask all relevant organs of the university to key into environmental activist movements of the university and ensure a more sustainable, green environment on our campus. The university, in doing that, can also institute awards for best practices in this direction. For instance, one of the questioners asked this question, and if I get it right, he was saying that other movements started in the university. Why is environmental movement lagging behind in the university? We have started. Am I not in the university? I have written this book on environment from the university. Plugging in Nigeria is in the university. We have started. And better to start, better late than never. And I think that very soon there will be a movement to put some of this environmental literature in our GS courses so that when you go in for your GS courses, environmental sustainability becomes part of what you are educated on. I also think that university can be prodded by us to organize seminars, conferences, outreaches on this. There used to be, when I was an undergraduate, there used to be competition for the cleanest hostel environment. We can get the Vice Chancellor to reinstitute such contests once again. So in bid to win the prize, all the hostels will get clean. The highest I can do as an environmental scholar is to churn out literature on this and to continue to mentor and to play rear guard for students' organizations that come up as a result of my activities. And part of what I'm doing now is a job I'm going to do. I have also asked Plugging in Nigeria to fix the day in which we'll do courtesy call to the Vice Chancellor and bring some of our key points to the hearing of the administration. We have a lot of environmental activist actors here and there on campus. We can galvanize all of them and pay a courtesy call to the Vice Chancellor and sign a memorandum of understanding on how better this university can help to sustain such movements. I think I have done justice to all the questions. Thank you very much indeed.
They are clapping for you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful, for handling all those questions. Thank you. We learned a lot from you. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you continue. So our second speaker is here already. She's been waiting.
Okay, so I'd like to call on our second speaker, Dr. Amuche Nabiki. So please, let's welcome her. AY.
What did you say? No.
She can take over now.
Oh, all right. Dr. Amuche, if you are still here, please kindly unmute yourself and let us see your beautiful face, ma'am.
Hello.
All right. Thank you for joining
Hello,
us.
audience and the plugin Nigerian members and the fellow speakers. I should go ahead with I actually have a PowerPoint.
Please go ahead, ma.
Okay, thank you. So I hope I can share my screen. Okay.
What is it, ma? You can share your screen. You're allowed to share your screen, ma.
Okay. Just a bit. I thank you for inviting me to speak on a subject that I have a passion for. And I think I've done some of your activities with you. And I'm happy that we have young people who are interested in doing the right things. I listened a bit to Professor Mbadiogo, and I am happy that he has said most of the things that I need to say. And I don't know what the next speaker will say, but I also know that all of us are abreast, or we all understand what it means to what environmental sustainability means. Even though I tried to capture them in my slide just to give us a background, and all the concepts you raised in the title. So I'm going ahead to share my slide, which is environmental sustainability and waste management culture in Nigerian higher institutions, finding a balance. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, you can see us.
So I tried to talk about environmental sustainability. Luckily, the internet is there, so I'm all able to just copy and paste to raise our consciousness, like I said. So sustainability means meeting today's needs without compromising the abilities of future generations to meet theirs. So I tried to say that in Igbo language, they said that future generations, tomorrow no they finish. Because if tomorrow they finish, we will for no day here. because our parents, our grandparents also had future in mind. So we should also act having the future of those who are coming in mind. So it says that environmental sustainability also includes people, that it also means that people need clean air to breathe, fresh water to drink, and places to live, free of toxic substances and hazards. So what is environment? It says that the environment is everything around us. It includes the air, soil, water, plants, animals. They all make up the environment. So when we are talking about environment, we're not just talking about wastes that we see, because these wastes also contribute to other parts of the environment, the air. So when we talk about air pollution, talk about water pollution, we talk about soil, the plants, the animals, and things. So environment also is also sometimes referred to as like biodiversity and all those concepts. So all living things that live on the earth comes under the environment, whether they live on land, water. So air, water, sunlight, plants, animals, etc., they all make up the environment. So we've talked about sustainability, and then waste management culture. So I included this URL. I wish some of us will read it and understand more about waste, because in our culture, in our African culture, I don't think we actually have waste. Our parents, our ancestors made use of virtually everything. I usually use the palm produce as an example of how our ancestors were able to put virtually everything to use. If you cut the palm tree, the palm head, and process it, the kernel comes out. There's the chaff. Then there's water that remains from that processing. They put all of these things to use. So waste is actually a colonial culture too, for me. I don't know what it means for you, because there's no waste. Everything is a resource. Then we talk about culture. So the culture is ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society. So in our culture, we do not have waste, but because we have imbibed a foreign culture, we are left with a lot of waste. So I'll also eventually send this to Ayo, anyone that wants to read this, but I want to read the first line, which says that humanity cannot wait for leaders. Because I heard some people saying the VC's office, the government, the this, that. We cannot wait for leaders to save us. We humans caused global warming. This is just an example. And we will have to save it ourselves by our individual direct actions, environmental actions. So this is UNN. So you can see our library. If we are talking about wastes, I don't think there's any waste lying here in the pictures. Then I have UI. You see how green, how it has this picture online that is so well blended. They build up environments and they green, and you can see all the green is beautiful. So this is an artwork. So if you can read it, recently, the United Nations had a conference in Kenya, in Nairobi. So this is an artwork that an artist mounted there. Benjamin Wong, I think he's a German. So you can see all the plastics running like from tap water. So what you're talking about, every other person is talking about it. all over the world. But people are making efforts to contain it. So I think there was a place I defined management. So this is UNN. This picture is from UNN. So you've seen, I hope you can see this screen and see this structure that is burdened with a lot of waste. I think it's the Rotary that built it and is in different places on campus. This is one of our efforts to contain, to manage waste. I think many people can recognize this. This is behind Mary Slessor Hall in UNN. So this is my interactive with every one of us. I don't want anybody to ask me questions about waste management. I want to ask you that what is the waste management culture in UNN, for instance? If you're from UNN, can you suggest one way that we use to manage waste? We will come back to that. So this is from a university in the UK, Coventry University. This is one of their waste management cultures, one of the ways they manage waste. So if you look here, it says Coventry University Recycles, clean recycling, general wastes. Magazine, they say the things you can put in this bin, and then says no liquid or food, please. I think I just made a larger image here. They also have these things, well-being community project, create your own project. This in their conveniences. It says, help us save water. Report dripping taps to estates.coventry.ac.uk. This is UNN still. This was the last, there was one UN event that we did at the Children's Center. We were using baskets to separate wastes, degradable and non-degradable waste. And we were teaching children. They were very excited. If I had other pictures, you see them running around, picking the plastics, picking everything, and then they were able to separate it, put the degradable wastes in a separate basket, non-degradables in another plastic. So this is another question that I'm asking. Who makes waste? When we have the answers, we'll insert them here and here. And I ask another question, what do you do to it? Or what does it do to itself? Then the finding a balance phrase. I try to say that the truth about waste is us humans. It's not actually about the school management. It's not actually about the federal government. It's not because, for instance, there's a law banning single-use plastics in Nigeria. I don't know if you know about it, but government has made the law. Who enforces it? Who keeps it? It is connected to everything that we human beings have become. We've all become unreasonable. We are not thinking about the future. We are only just thinking about our present selves. We are just thinking about our present selves and doing the things that we think are okay. We have no moral to think about the future, about our children, about their children's children. And then how do we even give a thought as to where these things go? No, not many of us. But I think that plugging in Nigerian students, give it a thought, because I also think that your organization is a global organization, because I see Chinese, even Japanese students who are plugging in all over the internet. So I think each of us have a role to play, from the house, from our consumption pattern, from what we tell others, from our studies. Like, how many of us are able to find the area on waste management in our studies, in our different areas. For instance, Professor Mbajog is writing from the drama and theater perspective. So I'm in fine and applied arts. There are engineering students. There are metallurgical students, materials and metallurgical students who can actually help us develop our own beings that are both eco-friendly and economical. You know, we are able to produce it, people are able to buy it and use it, and we are able to degrade it without harming the environment. So there are people who are working on zero waste. There are people who are working on zero plastics. There are other people who are working on raising the awareness. There are just so many things that we all can do to find the balance. But one thing I know that we all can start doing is to reduce our want for buying more, our want for consuming more, our want for filling our environment with all kinds of things without giving a thought as to how it all ends. Because every material has its life cycle, and each of these material has its own effect on us as human beings, on the environment, and even on our psyche. You see, a lot of us are angry, and usually I attribute it to the environment, to how we have polluted the environment. I think I'll stop so far, and then if there are questions, if there are suggestions, because when you suggest for government to do this and do that, and they are not here, and you also know that in Nigeria, suggestions or promises that governments make are nothing but usually empty promises. So I'll just stop here, and if you have questions, if you have suggestions, we'll take it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Is it loud? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I can.
All right. So Uncle Greg is here. He has a question for you anyway. So he's been listening out.
I didn't ask him any questions, so he should just hold his question. Let the students ask first, please.
Amuche.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you that we don't need a coordinated action. If you say it's individual, why are you referring for future global? That's coordinated action.
No, I did not say that.
Action is helping to coordinate.
No, of course we need coordinated action. I said you already said that.
I said university management coordinating individual action. Very important. Otherwise, okay. And then that government makes a policy, because we have to prod on government. I think it's a good move that government has made a law against flimsy plastics. Then we move from the law and make sure that this law is now implemented. Some way we can fight those who sell and supply generators to stop polluting environment. But we can't effectively fight generator cabals if electricity does not improve. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed listening to you from London. And please make sure you bring back some of the...
Hello.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
I
did not say we do not need coordinated
All right,
action.
though.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Can I join my voice? Elizabeth. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning once again. I want to thank the team for organizing this Zoom meeting. Mine is not necessarily a question, but just a comment to commend all of you and to emphasize that we need individual and collective action, because the challenge of climate change and environmental management is a new challenge that has just been brought to our consciousness. So we need to continue to conscientize the populace about the needs for proper waste management. For those who have had the opportunity of traveling outside the country, you see everywhere is neat. It's somebody doing it. It's individuals and government working together to see that the environment is hygienic and clean. So we've started the right way, conscientizing the students of University of Nigeria and Nsukka. Constant meetings, talking advocacy, and all need to be employed in achieving results. Once again, thank you very much. I enjoyed the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. I don't know where the facilitator has gone. I hope she's still there.
Hello, ma.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Prof. Uncle Greg to say hello to Professor Elizabeth Ungu. Thank you for joining us, man. You've been here with us since morning. We really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Any question for Dr. Amuche before she leaves?
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Amuche, I am very, very grateful for you to be here and to have spoken to us. One of the things that I'm taking out from everything you said is we have to reduce our want for buying more without giving a thought of how it all ends. It's my takeaway quote from you, and it is golden. Okay, so I appreciate everything you said. I just want to make a mention of a few things. You showed us a picture of a waste bin that was built by, I think, Rotary or Rotrack in UNN and has been taken over by waste. For me, my takeaway there is that this is basically an issue of management, not actually the university management, but management of waste. So we can put up beautiful structures about waste, and if we don't manage it properly in terms of evacuation, in terms of classification, then we'll keep having this issue of waste everywhere. It is normal human nature to keep pushing out this waste, but then we also have to devise a way to manage it properly. Either collaborating with the university management to see a way where we can maybe bring in even students in terms of waste management. I'm studying at Teesside University here in the UK, and I'm happy you are here in the UK also. We as students are also part of the waste management. In fact, we drive the waste management here in the school. Okay, we on our normal free time we go people who are employed as waste managers here in school. We go and do our job, and when we come back, we freshen up, go to lecture. And you find out that students, when they come into the management of these schools, they bring up innovative ideas and things like that. So I think the university community should be thinking in this direction. Waste segregation should be a big thing for the university. But I want to ask you a question. You are in the uh, art department, and I was in an exhibition here, art exhibition here, and virtually all the exhibitions that was in that gallery were from recycled products, even shoes and clothes that they collaborated with companies. The research institutes here in the university collaborated with companies to produce those products, and they displayed it in their exhibition. Is there anything that we're doing in the university in UNN and maybe other universities in Nigeria where we collaborate with companies to bring in products from waste, okay? So as our means to reducing waste in the environment and basically the university community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. It's nice to meet you. Where are you in the UK?
I'm in Middlesbrough. I'm studying
Okay,
in Teesside University. Yes.
Okay. Well, see, you can ask that question because you're from the UK. You know, the society here is well organized. They understand how every other thing is interlinked. Okay, myself, my medium of practice is actually waste. I did my PhD using municipal solid waste. That was my research. But because of our society, for instance, Coca-Cola, we usually organize competitions about environment, but they are not conscious of how they add to the environmental problem we have. That's in our own area because they are called out everywhere in the world. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nestle, all the people that use the plastics for their packaging. So yes, you see in Nigeria, a lot of things work by who do you know, are they endorsing you and all that. So I've personally not reached out to any company to ask for their old products to be used, but I've asked people to contribute like their clothes. So even people prefer to drop their stuff in the bin so that scavengers will go to collect it than to give it to you to work with. I don't know what that mentality is all about, but that's my little environment in Nsukka. I may not be able to give that answer.
They may think you're using it for juju or something.
Something like that. So I don't have the answer, but now that you've raised it, it's something we can think about. These are all possibilities of what we can do. You know, we can trade the ideas here and at home. So when I am back to the UNN, we can think about that. I just want to use the opportunity to thank Professor Elizabeth Ngu. That's actually my senior sister who gives me a lot of support and who really pointed me to the environmental issues about waste, because she introduced me to the waste separation culture. She always has 2 bins in her kitchen, one for degradable waste, the other for non-degradables. So you push the degradables to the farm. So I want to thank her for being here. She also has that passion. And I also want to thank Professor Egodi Uchendu, who also, I'm sure, came to support me. She's also a pillar of support. I thank you too. And I also want to use them as examples of how we all need to support each other to achieve results. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much from the UK. So that you'll be coming back, right? So, like Professor Uncle Greg said, all the goodies. Don't forget to bring it to UNN. And
Okay.
of course, We can't wait to come and collaborate with you when you come back from Plugging Nigeria Club UNN. So we'll be talking about that too. Yes, thank you. I think we are done with you. But then I thought we'll be speaking
Sorry,
about
Ayo.
this culture.
There
Yeah?
are people asking questions in the chat, so if
Yeah,
you
I was about to say
I'm
that some
sure.
people dropped it.
All right, she's
So
here
if
with us. I'm
I'm
just conscious
sure
of the time. All right, no problem. Please kindly
I'll
take the
read them
question.
out.
Mary, Yunan.
I'll read the questions out now. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Question here is, if companies that use plastics are always called out, what alternative can be used instead of plastics for canning? Did you get that?
Yeah, I did. Okay, thank you, Prof, for that question. Very important, really. Yes, we have had, when we were growing up, we didn't have much plastics, much plastic drinks. There were bottles, even though bottles have their own problems, but they are not as bad as plastics, because you can take them back to be reused and even crushed and reproduced. And they said recycling bottles is much more sustainable than recycling plastics. And then there are a lot of research going on about how else we can package our drinks. And we also know that, talking about our own culture, when you go to buy palm wine, they use calabash. There's a research project going on here that is using the seed from calabash to mold bottles. And you know that people here also use like the cork they use for wines. So there are so many people doing things to see how we can overcome the alternatives to these things. Yesterday, I even saw liquid soap that is contained inside soap itself. So when you finish the liquid soap, then you can use the soap to wash, and then everything just disappears. So it's all being conscious about what we are doing. We can all put these things down, and then there are even shops that are saying bring your own cups. In those days, our grandparents used to go to events with their bags. They have their cup. I don't know if they use spoons then. They use spoons. They bring spoons. Okay, the Chinese use chopsticks to eat their food. So there are a lot of people looking at cultural approaches that are environment friendly and are taking them up. So I'm also sure that Coca-Cola is doing a lot to invest in alternative packaging, because organizations like Greenpeace are on their neck. They are using them, they are calling them out all over the place. And in the very close future, I think there will be an alternative to plastics. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. What's the name? Egodi Uchendu, I hope your question has been answered.
Yeah, excellently too.
Thank you.
Okay. Without wasting much time, if there are no more questions, I'd like to call on the third and last speaker. That would be our very own comrade Odi Lucky. Is he in the house? Right? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I don't think he's in the house with us too.
Oh, okay. While we wait for him, I don't know if I heard correctly, but the first person that asked the question said it's normal. I don't know if I heard well, so if I didn't, you can correct me. He said it's normal for humans to not dispose waste properly. It's not normal. It's very abnormal. So Lucky is here.
Hello. Okay, is Lucky here now?
Lucky is here. Comrade Lucky, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so you will be taking the stage now. Are you ready?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Comrade Lucky. What happened to him? Comrade Lucky, can you hear me? Thank you very much, Damchi. We had a wonderful time talking to you. She's saying bye. Bye bye. Okay. In the meantime, since Lucky is not ready yet, are you ready now?
I'm ready. I'm here.
Okay. Take hold.
So, can I start?
Yes.
Right. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Comrade Odi Lucky. I'm the SUG Director of Welfare. Right. Before we start, I would like to appreciate the executives of Plugin Nigeria UNN for the good works they are doing, and it's really an honor and a great honor for me, to be a speaker in this program. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing, not just in the university community, but also at large. So it's a job well done. It's a job well done, and it's a pleasure for me to, of course, be a part of this success story. With that being said, we'll just go into what we have for today. Merit, are you there?
Yeah. Yes,
So you
I'm
guys
here.
can hear me.
We can hear you.
All right. So yes, I was saying, my name is Odi Lucky. All right, the SUG Director of Welfare, and I would like to appreciate the leadership of Plugin Nigeria UNN for the great works they are doing, and of course, we are in the government, and then we know how difficult it is to achieve success. So it's actually a very good one. Eyes and of course, its executives. You guys are doing a great job. It's an honor and pleasure, of course, for me to be part of this story. I'm also a blogger. Well, past speakers have said quite a lot, and of course, I believe we've learned from them. I'll just shed light on some things, and then we'll move on. Okay. So yeah, the topic is environmental sustainability and the waste management culture in Nigerian higher institution, finding a balance. All right. I went on a research, and I'm using an article from a scholar, C.V. Bakari, PhD, a scholar in the University of Lagos, Nigeria. Much of what is very everyone to go through it and use it if they want to. All right. Yeah, so we start. Management of waste is vital to environmental sustainability and sustainable development efforts, which are key goals to SDGs. This experimental research examined solid waste management within the university system. It employed a combination of enlightenment and introduction of a specifically designed bottle certain sorting of street waste and appropriate containers. All right. This study was conducted using sensitization campaigns, interviews, observation, and questionnaires. All right, there are keywords I would like us to note before we move on. First of all, environment. Of course, Dr. Amuchi explained some of these keywords. I'll just throw more light on them and we'll move. Okay, the keywords: environment, development, sustainability, the 3 R's, which are reduce, reuse, and recycle, method, and adult education. So I will explain a few of the terms we'll be using throughout this session. First, of course, is environment. Environment basically is the surroundings or condition in which a person, animal, or plant lives in. Of course, we all know what the environment is. There's not much to explain there. And development. Development is the process or an event constituting a new stage in a changing situation. Then sustainability. Sustainability means meeting our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This particular word, using it time and time again throughout this session, sustainability. I'll explain again. It says means meeting our own needs without compromising the ability of future generations. Right now, the 3 R's. The 3 R's are reduce, reuse, and recycle. Of course, we all know what reduce is. Reduce is a reduction of course waste generation. It simply states that we shouldn't be wasteful and we should reduce the garbage we use. All right. And then reuse is just to reuse products, not just get it once and then you are done with it, just like that. And the last, of course, is recycle, which is to use recycled resources. It's advising us to use recycled resources. And then the last, which is adult education. Adult education is distinct from child education. It's a practice in which adults engage in systematic and sustained self-educating activities in order to gain new forms of knowledge, skills, attitude, or value. All right, having defined these terms, we'll just go straight to the introduction. All right, now the management of waste, especially solid waste, is an essential aspect of our daily life. You will agree with me with that, right? And has been an issue once human being started forming enough communities to put stress on natural and material resources. The human being has proved to be the most culpable of the species in the desecration of the environment. What that simply means is that humans, we are to blame for whatever we see. All right, we are responsible for everything. We can't blame anybody. All right, we are the most culpable of the species to the desecration of our environment. All right, most human activities, and especially in the process of developing, invariably create waste, much of which can pose risk to the environment and to public health, especially if not well managed, which can pose risk to the environment and the public health. The urge is therefore to find solutions to this. The solutions, of course, is what we'll be talking about today. The UNESCO and Japan-led World Conference on Education for Sustainable Development, held in Nagoya, equally emphasized the critical role of education in bringing about a more stable and sustainable society in the face of pressing global challenges. Subsequently, other higher education meetings were held in Nagoya by Global Universities Partnership, all of which lent credence to the contribution of universities into bringing awareness on sustainable development as well as sustainable environment. All right, the university, in my own belief, should serve as a model to our community. All right, the university should serve as a model for the community because in my own side of the country where I come from, they call university Mahadu. Okay, if I'm to translate that, it means know all. All right, so I feel and I believe that the university should pose some sort of a model or practice that the outside community can 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 take and adopt to make sure that we are solving this problem. All right. Now, sustainable development, like I defined earlier, it is the idea that human society must live and meet their needs without compromising their ability of further generations to meet their own demands. Basically, sustainability signifies human ability to manage responsibility to the environment and the other resources on a long-term basis. There are major goals as regards the sustainable development, which are to embrace environmental friendly practices, depletion of natural resources, and the rest. All right. There are two factors or approaches that can be applicable to making sure that sustainable development is achieved. Okay. The first of which is environmental protection, and the other is environmental education. I'll briefly explain what environmental protection is. It basically means bringing out viable environmental conditions and practices that individuals, humans as a whole, can adopt and make the environment conducive for everyone. And the other one is environmental education, which of course is what we are doing in today's synopsis. All right, it's exactly what environmental education is, where we try to create awareness, make people understand what they are doing, and the rest of that. Okay, I will continue. University of Lagos, UNILAG, like I stated earlier, the scholar I got this material from to buttress on is a scholar in University of Nigeria, a PhD student. So most of what we'll be talking about is basically from the University of Lagos, UNILAG. All right, University of Lagos, UNILAG, is one of the first generation universities in Nigeria, family called the University of First Choice and the nation's pride. It has academic and administrative, residential, as well as commercial areas from where waste is generated on daily basis from these different locations. This is a micro community that replicates the larger society in terms of diversity of the staff members living on campus. The staff's residential quarters was used as the central focus of this study. All right. During the course of this research, there were problems to this study. All right. The university community contributes to environmental degradation by not abiding by the dictates of the 3 R's, of course, which is reduce, reuse, and recycle. I explained it earlier. The university community is expected to live up to certain standards. The university community is expected to live up to certain standards, which was I stated earlier. I believe that the university community should serve as a model to outsiders, to the world as a whole, where they come and then for solutions, for adoptions, and things like that. We should set the standards of every aspect of life in the university community. Okay. A key issue nowadays is that people extract resources from the ecosystem around them faster than they can be replaced, which is very true. And their actions threaten the very life support system that sustains us. This study focuses on the adherence, the compliance to the principles of the 3 R's within the context of the university community, and how members' activities affect their environment and subsequently sustain development efforts. The development of the university as a system is fundamentally hinged on the way the environment is managed. If waste generated is not well managed, it will hinder progress generally, be detrimental to health and well-being of residents, affect workers' morale, and generally affect the socio-academic life within the university community, thereby hindering progress. This is because the method of waste management dictates the environment and impedes on overall development efforts. Generally, the purpose of this study is to establish campus resident awareness level and acceptance of the recycling process by mounting an educational campaign to sensitize the residents to the effects of their waste management practices on their environment. Okay. The study, of course, also wants to familiarize them with the 3 R's: the reuse, the reduce, and the recycle. The 3 R's, and encourage them to manage their solid waste more effectively in a manner that will not impact positively on the future generations, but will engender overall improvement, well-being of residents, and subsequently the development of the university community. Throughout this study and research, there were certain findings and discussion which I would like to share with you guys. All right. Like I said, University of Lagos was the central focus of this study, and I'll be giving out figures, data, statistics on the subject matter. All right. There are a total of 380 living quarters for the staff on campus, including different building types like duplex, triplex, high rise, etc. There are various forms of pollution, amongst others, but the study concentrated on the solid waste in relation to the 3 R's. Responses from the survey questionnaire reviewed some data. All right. The nature of typical solid waste generated within the university community was found to be used paper. That's the most common debt in the university community, used paper, because of the kind of business we run here. It's just academics, and then most of the solid waste were used paper, discarded cans, bottles, food waste, nylon, and plastic materials. The master plan of the university puts the daily solid waste generation of residents per person in a day at 0.75 kilograms. This is similar to the findings of Jibril on waste generated within a Malaysian university environment. All right. Now, the University Healthcare Center, University of Lagos, is in charge of the sanitation on campus. All right. Waste management has since been outsourced to 2 private firms under the public/private partnership initiative. Responses from the interview sessions revealed that typical challenges encountered in the waste management within the university community include the following. 1, the university does not provide separate bins for separating waste. 2, packers do not pick up as regularly as they should. This is also a similar problem here in our own institution, UNN.
Okay.
We face the same challenge here in school. Also, the secondary disposal location are sometimes exposed and can attract flies, rodents, and other harmful insects. Other challenges regarding waste management include some form of apathy exhibited by campus residents, as many believe that the authority should supply more incentive for waste separation, while several would not be bothered, which is a very, very bad attitude, if you ask me, because, of course, majority of people don't even know the diverse effects environmental pollution has on us. They don't care. But with sessions like this, we'll create awareness and then make people understand the harmful effects of nonchalant attitudes towards our waste management in the university community and the whole world at large. One limitation of the study was that because the bins supplied for the experiments were limited, they were only placed in strategic locations, and the logistics were almost impossible to get from the high-rise buildings who normally drop their waste through the chute. This is very, very common in hostels here in UNN because I once stayed in the hostel, and I believe some persons there, when they want to dispose their waste, of course, those people in 400 series, 300 series, and the likes, they don't care to, go outside and then dispose it in a waste bin. They just feel nonchalant and then throw it out through the window, which is a very, very bad practice. If you ask me, it's a very, very bad practice. There are pictures I would have loved to share, but at the end with the deserved import and overall development effort to be hindered, along with environmental sustainability. Yeah, I explained this earlier. I said the nonchalant attitude of students, staffs, and the occupants in the university community is actually alarming. And it won't be nice on the long run what will happen as regards climate change. All right. I urge every single one of us in our respective area of influence to try and speak to individuals, communities, and enlighten them on the, the the consequences as regards the nonchalant attitude of waste management in our lives. All right. I'll just conclude now. Okay, the study showed the necessity to be more conscious of the profound effect as humans on the environment and take more responsibility for what is done to the environment and how actions affect the environment in order to right the wrongs being committed. Environmental education can help better collaboration within the community to favor environmental sustainability. What better place to begin than from the university community? Exactly. The university community can serve as a model and lead to affect the socio-economic balance of the nation. As the university community, we must lead by example, of course, and charity must, of course, begin at home. We need to pay more attention to creating a sustainable environment for the sake of social justice between the rich and the poor, to ensure environmental justice for humans to non-present generation. Human development hints or affects on the integration of conservation with development, and practicing the 3 Rs can help greatly to put the right path towards being kinder to the earth. All right, on my own end, recommendations as per solutions to this subject matter. Of course, the nature of waste generated within the university campus is typical and will likely remain the same over time. But the management can influence with appropriate education and incentive. The institution would further outsource waste management on campus. Sorting from sorts should be encouraged with the necessary incentive by the authorities, like the supply of bin bags, but more importantly, separate, appropriately labeled, separate bins provided in mass for different waste products. Probably start with the patent of the signature bottle bin, as this should appeal to a vast audience and be self-explanatory. University departments can work on recyclable materials and make alternative and innovative use of the garbage. Yeah, there was a time in UNN where waste was used to generate electricity. That was before I even gained admission, but the reverse is the case now. The reverse is the case in institutions. Anyways, packers should pick up more promptly. The secondary dump site locations should be covered, and transportation to the thermal points arranged more regularly. Education and orientation campaigns should be mounted more often to refrain the packers and the campus resident community to embrace the 3 Rs so that all can be more conscious of the effects of their waste management actions on the environment. The university generates a lot of proper waste. Efforts must be made to work towards a paperless community where technology over internal and external correspondence and the virtual libraries become more prominent. That being said, I hope I was able to drop few things for the listeners in this section, and I once again like to appreciate the leaders of Blogging Nigeria for this opportunity to speak on such a topic. It's really a pleasure. I don't know, I think it's over to you, Merit.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to stop seeing you. So who has questions? Oh, I have a question. So I guess I'll start. Lucky, are you there? Lucky, Comrade Lucky.
Please, sorry, Mary. Please kindly put on your video. Let us do screenshot. Kindly put on your video. Let us do screenshot. Thank you.
Okay, Lucky, can you hear me?
Good evening.
Right, I heard you. Okay, Lucky, can you hear me?
Please, while we are waiting for Lucky, can we kindly put on our video, please? Important.
Okay, everyone, please put on your video. Let's see your beautiful faces.
Merit, please, you have button take.
You said what? Hey, right.
Okay, I'm here. I'm here with you, but we are not turning on the video. We just want to take the group
I
picture then.
I can't take the picture.
Yeah, he said that. I think I should do that, or I'll do it for my own friend there.
I think you should do it, AY.
All right, no problem. So please, everybody, kindly turn on your camera.
I knew. Is your video on? Yes. Now that there are so many pretty kitchens.
Everybody, hey, oh yeah, now turn on your video. Thank you.
Everyone, turn on your videos.
Your video, please.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Hey, Mapia, oh yeah, now. There is. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. We can continue. We can continue. But wait.
All right, that's done.
Loretta, Omowumi, Miss Summer, did not see your face, so.
Yunan, will you come on your video, please?
I did not on your video too. My dog, Kajetan, did not on your video. Are you in the on roll call? What do they call it? Eroluwa David, oh yeah now. Eco Restoration Foundation. Let us have a video, then can continue. All right, Inan. Okay. All right. I'm seeing beautiful faces here and there, causing trouble on the internet today. Nedu smile now, make Nade smile. Anu smile, Anu, we are here. Thank you. Hey, stop Zulu. Thank you. Chief Blogger, smile for us. Please. Oh, you see wink for me. Oh, Mr. Man, what a beautiful someone. Yeah, okay. Eco Restoration Roots. Okay, GJ. All right, we are good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I think Lucky has run away.
You know, he was actually on transit. He has been on transit since morning to join. So kudos to him that he can even make it to this point. So
Okay.
So
thank you, Lucky, in absentia. And that's our last speaker. Wow. So I'm going to call on yeah.
I say maybe you should take feedback from people who attended, who are online now, or who can talk about their experience to plug in Nigeria or something. So just maybe for next 5-10 minutes. Then our head plugger can say the vote of thanks, then we can wrap it up and prepare for the evening session.
They said someone has a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. I can. Can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah,
So if you have a question, kindly send it to AY. He will get it across to Loki and will surely get a response back to you.
No. They can ask maybe someone. He can ask the question here, Merit, or send it on the chat, or everybody can just look at it. Maybe if you have a possible answer to it, you can just say one or two about it for a few couple of seconds. Thank you.
Okay. Then if Mr. Chinedu is here, let him ask this question.
All right. Good morning once again, everyone. So it's unfortunate Lucky is out. I noticed he's on transit and probably he's not so comfortable. But I would have asked him one question. What is the SUG government, and him particularly in terms of welfare? I don't know if there's a directorate for environment, but his directorate, which is for welfare, what are they doing in bringing in students into waste management in UNN? It is very important. Look at what plugin is doing. Okay, they made waste picking very exciting. Like anybody who sees you guys pick your waste on Saturdays, they naturally would want to join you. That is the innovation young people bring into whatever they come into. So why is the SCG government not campaigning so much for students to be part of waste management in UNN and be paid for that? Here in my school, for the first 3 months, I was part of the team that did the recycling of degradable waste, which we used it to produce manure, which we are using to planting the grasses and the trees. And I was paid for the job. We can't leave it for the average civil servants, which we know are nonchalant. He made a point there of packers do not pick waste as regularly. That's the average civil servant. But if you give these things to students who are enthusiastic about their job, they will do it and they will perform wonders. They will bring even innovations of how to do it easily. Okay. He made mention of open ways that attract rodents. Why are we not interacting with Department of Metallurgical and Material Engineering, like Dr. Muche said, or other departments to collaborate and see how we'll make these things happen?
I mean, even if the school management is not so much interested in this, SUG as a government should be able to push these narratives. It's not just about bobo, bagba kind of thing. You know? These are the kind of things they should bring in, push students, okay, into the management. Let them be gaining skills even while they are studying. Let them be gaining experience. Let them be gaining skills. Let them be contributing to their school, to the environment they are in. And I'm happy he's a blogger also. So I would have expected him to keep pushing this to the management. In fact, the SUG and plugin should always be in the face of the school management, the VC and the rest of them. They should take this environment thing very seriously. I was part of the team that plugged for UNEC, plugin UNEC, their inaugural plugin. I don't know if it's continued. And I was surprised at the waste management there. Even the sewage was gushing out and nobody cares. But they have an SUG there who I don't know how much they have pushed this management. So these are the things that he said that waste management should be outsourced. I seriously, totally disagree. I think people in the university system have to manage their waste. If not, whoever that is outsourcing it will not do the best of the jobs. They will do it as the average Nigerian. Until you do your thing yourself, you can't put the best in it. Just 3 years, look at the numbers you guys are churning out. How many kg you've been able to, of plastic you've been able to put, how many trees you planted, how many this you did. That's because you did it yourself. You felt it's your responsibility. If you are giving it to one company like that somewhere, they will mess the entire thing up. So I think the SUG should be, this is what they should be driving at, not the basic politics that we do in school. That is what our SUG do here. That's what the students gain from. So if for nothing, I've gained experience of converting waste to plastic and how to manage that, even as a microbiologist, you know. So I think also in the nonchalant attitude of things, we should continue talking to students, interacting with them, and when necessary, enforce rules. Because if you make example of 1, 2, 3, 4 people, the news will spread faster, and other people will take cover. So that's my submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other person with a question? No. Okay. Well, I don't know if I misheard, but I think he said something about adult education being important, and he differentiated it from child education. And I wanted to ask at that moment if child education is not as important as adult education when it comes to eradicating improper waste management. But okay, so moving on. Eyes, okay, please take the stage. Brother Eyes.
Yes, Brother Ice is here.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I
We
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you clearly.
I can hear you.
Okay, so I think it's been a wonderful experience listening to our three speakers talk to us about our theme of the day and look at, especially I'm more interested in the solution part of the discussion where we've had some ideas, especially from the UK. From the UK, it's really been amazing so far, and I think we've done well for ourselves today. So I'm Blogger Eyes, KG Quiz, Blogger Eyes, and I'm the head blogger of this prestigious and wonderful family of the club. And this symposium was designed for us to be able to, first of all, celebrate ourselves as bloggers, and secondly, look at how far we've come and how far we still need to go. Because, like our first speaker pointed out, it's not really sustainable for now, and we are actually looking at possible ways that we can make sustainable and permanent, require permanent solutions to the environmental issues, first of all in the university community and then the whole world at large. So I think for that, I'll say a big thank you to everybody that came and connected and listened and contributed, asked questions up to this point. So having said that, I think Principal Proga will take over and we'll continue from there. Thank you very much.
Hey, wait till they continue. We are done already. And happy anniversary to everyone that's there. We really appreciate you. And again, it's supposed to be physical affair that we all come together. But then, as strike happens, then non-academic happen too. So we'll be meeting on Twitter, please. This conversation, we are taking it to the Twitter. All these Londoner that you are hearing them, we want them to come and tell us. Most of them school in Nigeria before they move to London. You understand? So we want to hear them maybe as they are littering university here in UNN in Nigeria. That's how they are doing in the UK or over any other place they might have find themselves. So then we can the solutions or the take home from there or the takeaway or the policy that they are following over there. Maybe they can tell us some and we can go from there from here in Nigeria. So once again, thank you. So special recognition to our chief blogger. Special recognition to our chief blogger. He's been wonderful. Without him, there won't be plugging Nigeria at all. You understand? This started in 2018 at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ileife, June 2nd. Then a year later, I started here in June, and with his support, we've been waxing stronger every day. Then there won't be Club UNN without every pluggers on this club. You understand? We have our pioneer plugger, our head plugger. He's not here, but he was on that. We have our star director. They are not here. We thank them. So we acknowledge you, chief plugger. Thank you. Then Anioke Chinedu, he has been wonderful too. He will be speaking to us this evening on Twitter, and he is from Enugu. We've done so many new work in the developmental arena before he leaves for UK to study public health. So thank you so much for creating time to be with us and for sharing your experience over there with us. Thank you so much. Then we are acknowledge Loretta Asemota. Thank you so much. Then all our speakers too, we acknowledge them. And then what we want to try to do with this symposium is to try to influence policy from the university management, like what they've been saying. Every takeaway from this symposium, every point being raised from this symposium, we try to gather them, then try to get a course call with the vice chancellor, try to, see if we can implement some of these beautiful ideas in the club, in the University of Nigeria. You understand? Then we can take it to other schools too, like that. So thank you so much. And I remain your principal plugger, Ayodeji Umilabu. And see you in the evening. Thank you. Merit, over to you.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. Thank you for making time to attend this symposium.
All right. Sorry. The symposium committee actually did not introduce herself. Merit is the chairman for the symposium committee, and there are other team members that work with her to make this symposium anniversary symposium to be very, very wonderful. I mean, who else would have done it if not for Merit? What you could. Thank you so much, and you and your team. I really appreciate all your effort. Thank you. Mr. Paul is here. Paul is here. Thank you. Then Yunan, all the team, all of them are here. Then all the people from other clubs that joined. Plugger Roots, thank you so much from Club OAU. Solomon, thank you from ABU Club. Thank you so much, Plugger David from Unilag. Thank
Lagos.
you. We can't thank you. You make this thing, this our third anniversary wonderful. We appreciate you. We won't take it for granted. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, everyone. See you in the evening. Bye-bye.
Oh, Omowumi from UI. Thank you. See, now oversight. Sorry, Omowumi from UI. Thank you, people. You made this thing wonderful. Lucky. Lucky is here. Oh, come here. Lucky. Lucky. Lucky, come here. Lucky, you have questions. He's gone already again. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Did he come back?
He came back. He just left now. Oh, Plugger Anu,
Okay.
Alubi, thank you. Thank you from Ace. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out from all of us from Plugging Club UNN.
I know.
Katejan, thank you. On Twitter, Kajetan, on Twitter, you'll be wonderful. You want to start this plugging club in UNEC. You are wonderful. Just join us if you can, please. Thank
you. Chief Plugger from OAU. We see you.
Don't mind. Chief Plugger from Nigeria. Don't mind Chief Plugger. What's Chief Plugger from OAU? You are for everybody, but you are not for everybody. According to our President Buhari, you are for everyone. But you are not for everybody.
Bye.
Abdullah Yaya, thank you. Ahmad Mukhtar, thank you. Anu Alugbe, thank you so much. Eruluwa, Miss Somai, thank you. Odugu Christian, thank you so much. Thank you. Plugger UJ, oh my God. I don't know how for better women like you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, they are here to Plugger Austin is here with me. Plugger Swanky Jane Francis. I just knew her name today, Jane Francis. She's here. Plugger Eyes too. Say we're all thanking every one of you. Thank
Plugger
you
UJ,
so much.
for me, I say something now. UJ.
Okay, hi everybody. Thank you all for joining us today. I really appreciate. I really enjoyed the session, even though I didn't really come early, but I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Mary, for coordinating this wonderful event.
Thank you.
Thank you, Omowumi. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Odugu Christian. Thank you. Merit, you are wonderful. You are so wonderful. Thank you. Echo Restoration Foundation, we cite you. We cite you. Thank you.
AY, thank you so much. You've been thanking everybody, but then I must appreciate everything. You are mentioning my name, but the truth is, you won't did most of the work. So thank you very much for not turning your back on us.
All right. So we meet later today. We meet later today in the evening by 5 p.m. Don't forget. Twitter space. Or you're not Miss Summer, please your contact. Oh, you just left. Okay. Miss Summer, please your contact. Just send it across now. Thank you. We stick to time a little bit, guys. Mary, are you still here? Mary's gone. Okay. Voila. No one's. You don't. Yeah, we are done.